We are seekers of the liberating wisdom, that jnana, which sets us free, which puts an end to our sorrow and blesses us with supreme happiness. Do we realize that one of the main obstacles to this achievement of the liberating wisdom is how we mess up every day, how in the performance of various duties we don't do them wholeheartedly. We don't do things effectively. We leave things halfway, or we do with less of skill. We do not tap the full potential of ours. In various ways, thus, how we do our work is related to what kind of integrated mind we have, pure mind we have, conflict free mind we have. And having a conflict free, focused, pure, integrated mind is a major requirement for gaining the highest knowledge. Therefore, it is that in this 15th session or episode of the series Know the Upanishads, we are taking up the theme what makes our work truly effective. In that context, let's see a certain small set of slides. We actually rather specifically draw from Chandogya Upanishad. So here we are on October 31st. This is our 15th class under Know the Upanishads. A short phrase that we pick up especially from the Chandogya Upanishad goes, tad-eva veeryavattaram bhavati. That alone is truly effective. Stephen Covey, the management guru, says, to be efficient is one thing, but to be effective is quite another. If somebody does something with efficiency, rolling out products within a certain length of time and rolling out a large number of products in the same length of time, he is efficient, but he may not be effective. The best example is somebody goes up the stage in a classroom and he speaks so well, he explains the subject very well, but he was not noticing that the students were looking out of the window or the students were not looking at the blackboard at all on which he was writing. So, though he was very efficient in covering the subject, covering the topics quite elegantly, on the whole, he had poor control or poor monitoring, poor observation of where the students could be, whether they were following or not. And he did not make room for interaction, did not even ask them, did you understand what I said, or so on. In the process, that teacher would not be very effective. Maybe another teacher who is a little less efficient, but who double checks whether the students were following, and that kind of interactive check and then proceed could make the second teacher more effective. So the word effective, to quote Stephen Covey, is related to getting the desired results. Getting the results. It should bring about the desired effect. Therefore, it is effective. Whereas efficiency is a measurement in a rather narrow scope of the word. So here we are. When does work become effective? Taking this topic, we are once more showing that Upanishads are primarily about liberation, about unconditional freedom, agreed, but every Upanishad almost does touch upon the journey to that height, which is a whole lot of preparation, a whole lot of making the instrument we have for the highest knowledge to take place, namely the mind, or call it the mind and intellect, mana and buddhi, making them fit for, making them truly receptive. Therefore, we see the whole mantra now, the Chandogya Upanishad, which along with the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is regarded as one of the bulky Upanishads with a number of, that is 8 chapters, and each chapter having lots of mantras. The mantra we are especially considering this evening in India and this morning in the West is the 10th mantra of the very first chapter, the very first section, as the title slide had shown, 1.1.10. That is, first chapter, first khanda, 10th mantra. And in this mantra, in fact, mantra is much longer. The sentence which is of interest to us is Yadeva Vidyaya Karoti. Vidya is the first criterion. Shraddhaya Karoti, with faith. Second criterion. And Upanishada Karoti, with certain focus, with certain, the Sri Aurobindo cite on Upanishads gives the meaning as the secret of the Veda. The secret of the Veda is, in fact, when you fully devote yourself, when you connect yourself to a work, to a job, or in the higher context, you connect yourself to the wisdom, you will have it. It's your half-heartedness only which is denying to you what you were hoping to get. Tadeva veeryavattaram bhavati. Veeryavat means that which has veerya, strength, effectiveness. Veeryavat, matu pratyaya. And masculine form of it would have been veeryavan. But since it is karma, neuter, veeryavat, veeryavattaram, and the superlative degree would be veeryavattamam. Yadeva vidyaya karoti. Don't do work without having enough knowledge about what you have to do and how you have to do the work. Gain knowledge. Some second year MBBS student, MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, the medical degree which is very well known in India, the second year student was so enthusiastic and so eager to serve people. He did not study all the subjects that had to be studied, he went straight to the field. And it is said he made many mistakes, and rather than saving lives, he took lives. Therefore, it is said, do your work after gaining enough knowledge. Vidyaya kuru karma. Secondly, shraddhaya. Shraddha is faith, and faith is of many dimensions. Have faith in the knowledge that you have acquired, which is enabling you to do work. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in God, the divine law. Have faith in the recipients. So faith in several ways puts you on a higher level of creativity, energy, self-confidence, and so on. You imagine somebody is working for a company and that person has not much regard. He doesn't attach much value to the company. He is in fact unhappy that he is working in that company. And how can you expect him to be very effective? In contrast, somebody working for a company, adoring that company, proud to be a member of that company, employee of that company, and very happy about the objectives and the goals and the achievements so far of the company. Such a person is one having Shraddha. Therefore, even Vidura says, a wise person is one who has Shraddha, faith. Vidura says, one who carefully avoids things which are not praiseworthy, which eventually bring remorse, regret to one. And one does um, what brings true satisfaction, not immediately down the road. You look back and you are happy you did it. So then Vidura adds, someone who does what is praiseworthy, who avoids what is worthy of criticism, and who believes himself, who believes in God, and thus goes about his work, he said, Pandita. So, Pandita is used there in the sense of a wise person. So, Upanishads, Viduraniti of Mahabharata, and likewise Bhagavad Gita, a shloka of which we will see in this session too, they go together. Yadeva vidyaya karoti. Whatever work you do with required knowledge, you do with the required faith, confidence, and so on. And thirdly, Upanishada. Here the word Upanishad doesn't mean Ishopanishad or Kenopanishad and so on. Here Upanishad, Shankaracharya says Yogena. And the word yoga has the sense of connecting. Connect yourself to the work. Do not allow your mind to wander. Be fully into the peace that you have taken up. Swami Ramatirtha used to say, when you are doing a work, become the work itself. Very strange language. Become the work itself. You are a worker, but the worker becomes the work itself. That means there is so much of involvement. The translation I have put here in this slide is from the website upanishad.org.in, that is produced by a bunch of people in Pondicherry connected to Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Work done with knowledge, work done with faith, and the work, if it's done with the secret of the Veda. The secret of the Veda is that terrific, wonderful connecting. Live your life well connected to whatever you are doing. Don't live in some kind of division. I want to do something, but every day I am doing something else. What I aspire to do and what every day I end up doing are wide apart. If someone says, then there is no yoga. Tad-eva veeryavattaram bhavati. Veeryavattaram is comparative degree. It means that is indeed surpassingly effective. All other work where either you don't have the knowledge for the work, not adequate knowledge, or the necessary confidence and positive spirit, or you don't just have the concentration, then that work will not succeed. It will be delivering the goods to a less extent. Therefore, the 3 points mentioned in this Upanishad mantra at the very beginning, in the very first section of the first chapter of the Upanishad in Chandogya, has 3 factors: Vidya, Shraddha, and Upanishad. Vidya means Vijnanena Yukta San. Being. San means being. Being endowed with vijnana, the necessary knowledge about the work to be done. Do not take things for granted. Equip yourself with all available knowledge, then put your hands to the work. Today we are discussing work, not jnana. And yet, as I will very soon show, what is required into gaining the highest knowledge that sets us free is very comparable with what is required to do good work. The joy of good work requires that you be a good worker, and for you to be a good worker, you should be endowed with these three qualities. Vidyaya. Vidya over there means vijnanena yuktaha. Shraddhaya has Shraddha as the key word. Shraddhadhanaha, having necessary faith, as we explained, several dimensions of it. And then Upanishad, Shankara Bhashya says, or Shankara Bhashya says, Upanishad iti yoga. Yogena yukta. As we know, yuj dhatu means unite, connect. In Bhagavad Gita, a person whose personality is integrated, made into an integer as though, rather than falling by the side as a fraction. He is called or she is called Yukta. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim. Ayuktaha kamakarena phale sakto nibadyate, says the 12th verse of 5th chapter, one of the wonderful shlokas, in putting in contrast Yukta and Ayukta. That Yukta gives the noun yoga, which Shankaracharya uses here, and that is the meaning of Upanishad. Be well connected. Do not live in some kind of divided psychology. Part of your mind wants to be a teacher, another part has successfully made you a bank official, counting money and keeping accounts and so on. If you really want to be a teacher, go. Even if it is less salary, be a teacher. And if you really want to be a banker, completely forget those thoughts about being a teacher. When you do something, as they say, put your heart and soul into it. That is yoga. Yogena yuktasan, shraddhaya yuktasan, vijnanena yuktasan. How wonderfully three criteria are given here. These three include a whole lot of other things, or we may humbly say there may be a few more requirements, but these three are of paramount importance. We go further to see the contribution in this matter by last century's very eminent, world-renowned Vedanta teacher, Swami Chinmayanandaji. Swamiji said, let your mind be where your hands are. A boy is working in a physics laboratory at his college, but his mind is in a new ice cream shop that has opened very near his house. And what a decor and what varieties of ice cream are available. And I'm yet to go. I'm going to go this evening and grab one of their new combination ice cream, and so on. His mind is near his home, 2 miles away. His hands are on some equipment to conduct an experiment in the physics lab or biology lab or wherever. Therefore, if the mind is somewhere else, the hands are at a different place, how can that work be effective? It seems they asked Sachin Tendulkar, the great cricketer, once, how do you play? What is your state of mind when you play, when you bat? And he is said to have said, when a ball is coming towards me, I don't think of rest of the world. I am fully with that ball coming towards me. I mind that job on hand. See, his mind is fully with the job on hand. His mind is not even thinking whether 1,000 are watching, 10,000 or 100,000 are watching him play. So I am fully into the job. That is what is described by Pujya Swamiji. Let your mind be where your hands are. And about hard work, he never fell short of praise. He said, work hard. Don't just be a philosopher. Don't just talk. Do. Walk your talk. And he thus became an excellent motivational speaker around the world. People's lives were touched by the words of Swamiji. And about the sweat that we may have when we work hard, he said, that's fine, that is good. Don't seek comfort, sweat it out. And then very poetically he said, Narayana likes the smell of sweat. So if you sweat, work hard, Lord Narayana from above gets mighty pleased. When people asked him, Swamiji, we find you working so hard, probably 18 hours a day, if not more. When do you rest? And Swamiji made a witty statement. I rest in work. In and amidst work, he had a knack of drawing necessary energy. So the refreshing, refueling apparently was taking place in and through work. I rest in work. In fact, he also said, if I rest the way people do, sleeping, etc. If I rest, I will rust. Therefore, he hardly rested, active all the time, doing varieties of action. More notably, we noticed that he was not attached just to speak or write. He counseled, he met with people, he listened, he went through papers, he went through designs of some temples he was building, he went through the accounts of some project that was going on. He read letters of people who complained about some others. He read documents about problems at the various centers that he had established. Personality clashes, ego clashes, confusion, people not working together in harmony. He applied his mind to a wide spectrum of issues. Every 24 hours in a day, he worked with no particular bias or attachment to just one kind of work. Unlike many professors, many intellectuals who would not do, let's say, some other work in the institution, which also needs to be done. So they neither do nor do they encourage or delegate it to anybody. Therefore, it suffers. So Swamiji was that way, a rounded personality. I rest in work. So these are tips from Vedanta, from Vedantins. I believe Swami Ramatirtha also had said, when you work, become work itself. I think I quoted it a while ago. The last quote from Chinmaya is not his own really. When he was a young man, he was, I guess, in Lucknow or Allahabad, somewhere in north. And he was not known at all. He was just almost like a student, law student or something. But that time in his biography we hear, there was a very, very famous lawyer in that town, Lucknow or Allahabad. And in some matter, Balakrishna Menon and a friend of his somehow went to his office and went inside. They were allowed to go in, they went. They were a bit nervous because they are just students of a college nearby, and here was a mighty lawyer of those days who was highly regarded all over the country, if not beyond. They stood there before the great lawyer, and the lawyer looked up at these two young men. Yes, what can I do for you? They went in. Now they are already a bit nervous. In fact, they had some issue which they wanted to report to him. But amidst all that, they also asked him a question. Please give us a bit of advice. Advise us how we may make our life truly successful, sublime, beautiful. And it was that gentleman who says to Balakrishna Menon and his friend, work like a horse, live like a hermit. And Swamiji apparently remembered those words for the rest of his life. I will work like a horse, I will live like a hermit. If you know, if not totally in simplicity as other people would judge, but he was true to himself. In his life, there was tremendous simplicity. Simplicity. Others might see him going in a Mercedes sometimes with some devotee who took him in that car. Others might see him enjoying some comforts from their eyes, but those who were with him for longer periods of time saw that even till the end of his life, if 2 days he was in luxurious setting, next 3 days he could be in a very simple village. The minimum needs were provided. In the hot sun he walked, he sat with people discussing things, fully absorbed in work. He was not attached or he was not enslaved by any comfort at all. Work like a horse and live like a hermit was a statement by some celebrity of those days. I'm not getting that name now. So, this the in this lecture on Upanishad, we refer to an eminent person whose words they were. Swami Chinmayananji took those words from that great advisor. We conclude this Upanishadic talk now. What I mean is we are drawing to a close with one last slide. And here we are talking about the interesting comparison. Whether you want to work effectively or you want the highest knowledge, some criteria are similar. It's in Bhagavad Gita, in the 39th shloka of the fourth chapter that we read. Sri Krishna saying to Arjuna, after praising Jnanam, the right seeing, the wisdom, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparah sanyatendriyah jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. And is missing here. Shantim achirena adhigacchati. Achirena means without delay. That person, lady or man, who has Shraddha, who is tatpara, focused, and staying on with the job, and sanyatendriya, who doesn't let his senses go wild and drag him away from work into pleasures and enjoyments. Shraddha, tatparata, and indriya sanyama are given as three criteria for getting that supreme wisdom, which gives us moksha. Jnanam labdhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. Before long, in fact, without any delay at all, having gained the samyak darshana, right knowledge, one gets lasting peace. In this way, faith, shraddha, focus, tatparata, and self-control, Sanyama, are mentioned by Sri Krishna in different scriptures with slight differences. Such are the qualifications mentioned by rishis, by the eminent gurus. Once more, therefore, before concluding this session, let me say the study of Upanishads can bless us with certain wonderful understanding of life, not only on the higher plane of some divine, spiritual, transcendental wisdom, but on the lower plane of what healthy attitudes we ought to have while relating with people, while doing work in our privacy, and when we are in public, and so on. Thus, no wonder Vivekananda said, strength, strength, strength is the message of the Upanishads. He complimented the Upanishads saying, once he gave a number of lectures and they were all well received. Everywhere he went, people were excited to hear him, to drink from the fountain of the wisdom that he seemed to have. And then one day he suddenly said, whatever I have spoken all these days, all that is from the Upanishads. It is from the Upanishads that I have derived all these insights. He complimented. Therefore, it is that we too are trying to show for moksha as well as chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi is a broad word. Sometimes you may say, I don't have impure thoughts, but I get tired too much. I don't have impure thoughts. I don't hate anybody. I'm not attached to anybody, but I just sit looking out of the window doing nothing. Or I just sleep off. I just read some newspaper or watch some WhatsApp videos, etc. I just have no direction, it seems. But I'm a very pure mind. I have nothing impure. I nothing adharmic, nothing illicit, nothing unlawful, you may say. Oh, wait a minute. This lack of motivation, this lack of cheerfulness, this lack of energy, this lack of enthusiasm, this being distracted more often than being focused, all of them also are part of chitta ashuddhi. Your mind is not pure. Therefore, gain purity of mind. Gain purity of mind by choosing meaningful acts and doing them. Doing them the way Chandogya Upanishad guides. Yadeva vidyaya karoti. Gain more knowledge about whatever you are doing. There is a motivational speaker on YouTube. His name is Dandapani. This Dandapani is, I guess, a Swami. Some looks like a Swamiji with a lot of bhasma on his forehead and so on. Let's look up YouTube videos. Dandapani. He goes around to various European and American places and he motivates students, young people, and so on. Over there, he says in some of the videos, whatever you are doing, whatever you did today, if you are doing it tomorrow, try to do it a little better than how you did today. Try to be a bit creative. Don't just repeat the same. Go on improving it. Then you will find your work is also effective and you feel so contented, so happy. Life becomes so meaningful. Life becomes enjoyable. Bring about small amounts of improvement. Many people, alas, rather than improving their work day after day, they slide back, they slip down. They first time who do the work so wonderful, second time they don't give as much attention as they had given earlier. They miss out something, they forget something. And those who come second time for some service from them are disappointed. Last time he did such a good job. I don't know what is wrong with him today, what is wrong with her today. Today she didn't, her delivery was not all that good. So Dandapani warns people against it. Especially he talks to students in international settings. We see the videos. He says, make an improvement. Don't read big books and then not implement anything. Maybe you don't have to read much. Ask yourself. Well, I cooked a meal for my guests. Next time they come, how can I prepare a better meal? It may be a meal prepared in the kitchen. Well, I sang. How can I sing better? At one place, many years ago, I listened to one lady who sang a song and I liked it. Oh, she sang so well. And I went to other places and I came again next time after some 1 year. Again, she was there in one satsang. And somebody, not I, somebody said, please sing. And I looked at her and remembered, yeah, she sang quite well last time. She sang the same song which she had sung earlier year, and that was good, but nothing new. I smiled and said, all right. And afterwards, I'm not exaggerating, I heard her singing at least 6 times during my several visits to her town and some satsang group. All the 6 times she sang the same song, which left me wondering, is this the only song she knows? Because somebody said she's a music teacher. She is quite good in Carnatic music or Hindustani something. She's learned classical music. Then why the 6 times I met her in some satsang get-togethers, she did not sing one line other than that one particular song, the Tulsi Das song. जब जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब. There is a song. When Lord Rama, Janakinath helps you, who can trouble you at all? This is a famous, very popular song. That's the song she sang every time I met her. So, a nice lady. I have gone to had food at her place. I have interacted with her family. I know her. But even now, though I'm not in touch with her for 20 years now, but in the good old days. But when I remember her, it occurs to me. There was when I watched Dandapani's YouTube video, I thought of that lady. Yeah, she did not add one bit to whatever she presented. We should not be like that. We also may have such limitations at times, but it's better to step back, take a look at how we have been performing, and can we add something? I believe in Japan there is some kaizen and some, you know, wisdom of effective work. There also bring small improvements every next time. For heaven's sake, just do not repeat what you had done last time. They are also forgetting some elements of it. Add, bring something new shine. People should say, oh, this he had not said last time. This she had not done last time. Very happy to see something new here, right? So all these get into effective work, good work, impressive work, work that makes those who you serve happy. When they are happy, your mind gets purified through seva, through the work. Or karma should become a seva. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo. Namah Paramarashibhya. Let me go back to normal screen. If there are some comments or questions, this is the time to ask, to make the comments. Oh, So here is the chat box, and some people have greeted. Pranams and pranama. Hari Om. Namaste. Does the inattentive nature mean impure mind? Some amount of inattentiveness, lack of attention, is also a dimension of impurity. In a larger sense of the word, an impure mind includes hatred, wrong desires, jealousy, and so on, which are well known. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, and all that. But an impure mind can be recognized by lack of attention, lack of cheerfulness, etc. In fact, I would put it this way: lack of attention and lack of cheerfulness are expressions of certain negativity which is hidden. Let's say a child asks for ice cream and the father doesn't give the child ice cream. After a while, the father says, "Do your homework." And the child has forgotten about ice cream. But that pain, that disappointment is in the child's heart. So the child is trying to do some homework, reading or writing, but there is no attention. The child doesn't know also why I am not able to pay attention. And the reason is that hurt, that disappointment, that sense of I did not get what I wanted is showing in the form of a mind that refuses to focus. Whereas some other time you clearly know why you are not able to focus. Therefore, either way, an inattentive nature or inattentive nature is one aspect of impure mind. When our mind becomes pure, we are able to be in the moment, we are fresh, our mind doesn't run away to the past or future. Whatever we are doing, we attend to it. There is a certain lightness, no heaviness in the heart. There is no hidden sadness or expressed sadness, nothing of that kind. A pure mind is a light mind, beautifully moving, beautifully flowing. Kashinathji says, Bits Pilani's motto is Jnanam Parambalam. Wow, how nice. Paramambalam. Jnanam Paramambalam. Very wonderful. Somewhere, I guess, Mysore University also has Nahi Jnani Sadrisham. So, Jnana is part of the motto on the logos, on the emblems of many companies, many universities, learning centers. Yes. IIT Madras has Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja. Karmaja, born of attentive, effective work, success comes to you. Success is the product of hard work, intelligent work. Siddhir Bhavati Karmaja from Bhagavad Gita. Jyoti says, what is the actual meaning of Shraddha? Is it focus or commitment? It's neither focus nor commitment. Shraddha is uh, a favorable belief. It is believing that what you are doing is meaningful, believing that the person who has given you that work is a good person, it's worth doing the work for him or her, and it is believing that your good lies in doing this work. So when you do work with Shraddha, you believe in several aspects of the whole scenario. Whereas if there is no belief, no belief in the goodness, in the nobility, you know. Therefore, in religious context, don't they say he is praying, but he has no faith in God. So, because his father or mother said, do that japa, take the japa mala. Or a boy has been given upanayana. Sit down, unless you do sandhya vandana, we won't give you breakfast. The 10-year-old boy sits and Om Bhurbo Saha Tat Soitur. But he has no Shraddha. Does God exist? Does this practice lead us anywhere? Isn't it waste of time? Suppose that is his mindset, poor fellow. He lacks Shraddha. Though obediently he did not deceive the mother or father. He did the Gayatri 10 times or 28 times, 48 times, 108, whatever he did. But Shraddha he didn't have. So Shraddha is to believe in the nobility, in the truth, in the power, in the efficacy, effectiveness of whatever you are doing. Now, question is, suppose we don't have the Shraddha. You can get Shraddha by associating with people with Shraddha. When you associate with people with Shraddha, and when you get in touch with right people, you'll find, wow, he has such faith, and look at his peace, look at his energy, look at his noble deeds, and so on. So, whenever not only Shraddha, any quality, let's say the ground reality, the true fact is, I don't have it. What am I to do? You can get it. You can get bhakti, you can get jnana, you can get shraddha, you can get hardworking nature, you can get good habits of life. Be with some people who don't take coffee or tea at all, without their saying anything to you, by just noticing that you are longing for a cup of coffee, looking around, and when coffee was brought in adequate, in generous quantities, people serving, "Hey, take one, take a cup, take a cup." So your sisters said, no thanks, no thanks. After a few occasions, you will find, why am I so attached to coffee while this, my own sister is not interested? It percolates. Therefore, Shraddha is a belief, it is faith, not focus, not commitment. Focus and commitment come in that Sanyatendriya or the Tatparaha and so on. Shraddha is sometimes Vishwasa. Vishwasa also. You have Shraddha in the constitution of your country. You have Shraddha in the rules of traffic. When it goes green, you go. When it's red, even though there is no vehicle at all and it is morning 3 a.m., suppose you say, I don't care for this, then it is lack of Shraddha. So to believe in a system, to believe in a person, to believe in yourself, it's all belief, faith, belief. We have two more questions. One is thank you. Gul says, is Shraddha a feeling of pious worship? That is one expression of it. When we have Shraddha, even if we sit just for 5 minutes doing some small arati, just we show, we wave some lamp before a Shivalinga and say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. If there is that feeling of piety, you really feel humble. You look at the Shivalinga as the supreme might. That is also a Shraddha. So, with respect to puja, it is the uh, feeling of pious worship. With respect to work, today's session was about work. Therefore, I was highlighting belief in work, belief in for whom you work, belief in the whole system, whole institutions, motto, and so on. So I highlighted that. But in religious acharana, like with friends, suppose you go to see Char Dham or Kailas Mansarovar. Throughout those whatever 10 days or 12 days, you carry a sense of awe. How blessed I am. I never knew in my life I would come to this holy place. Wow. That feeling. That feeling is Shraddha. Many others could just enjoy nature and just go around, and wherever people, the priest asks, do namaskar. Namaskar they do. They lack Shraddha. They may not be negative, but they meanwhile don't have much positive feeling also. For them, the Kailas Parbat or the huge lake there and many symbols and idols might be okay. I don't either have a pious feeling nor have I anything against them. Then the Shraddha level is less. Shraddha is a feeling of acceptance, adoring. You have great feelings for your mother, your father. That is also Shraddha. Many children have no feeling whatsoever for their parents. And sometimes we hear, alas, how sad some children are courteous to parents just to get their money when they die or something. So then there's no Shraddha. So Shraddha is a good feeling towards God, towards parents, towards institutions, towards your position, job, many things. It's good feeling, healthy feelings. All right. With this we conclude. It's nearing 9 p.m. in India. All right. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.